All right, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Jay. For those of you who know me real well, or James, for those of you who just know me semi well, if you will, back for basically to pick up on a project that I started many, many years ago and just didn't commit to um, taking the steps afterwards to making a YouTube channel, right? And as you all know, and you probably seen the intro video beforehand, and if you haven't, feel free to. But many, many years ago, I had a intro video that I put out on YouTube in which I stated I would be starting a video game channel for basically where I would just discuss my love for retro games, especially, but also new school games and my passion for video games in general. And that channel was going to be called Level 88 Gaming. But of course, as you know, the case is with many adults, life happened, and I just never followed that intro video with any content. So I am here to spin the block and start that project. And what sparked this idea is that today, June 5th, is a very special day in video gaming history, and it's June 5th, 2025, by the way, in which the Nintendo Switch 2, I hope I got all of that in the camera, was released today. And that is what sparked this idea in my mind to spin the block and start this channel. As I'll do an unboxing for this. And I just wanted to make some content of today's event. So that is what sparked my mindset to come back to the Level 88 gaming channel and start the process of that. And hopefully we'll make many, many videos after that if my schedule permits it. Now, Summer Gamer Fest or Gaming Fest is tomorrow. So they'll be announcing some games there. Maybe I can make videos on that as well down the road too, and that could be some content too. But yeah, in a nutshell, go and revisit that intro video to just find out like a little bit about me and my passion for video games, and that'll give you a refresher on what the channel is about. But I really don't want to talk you all's ears off right now because we got an unboxing to do, and we'll get right into it right now. All right, so let's get into it. I obviously see a flap here, no tape. So just bear with me here, y'all. I'm trying to work around the camera and what have you. Let's see here. Okay, so that's how it opens. All right, so we're gonna flip this like so, and then let's see. All right, there. Oh man, that screen's massive. I probably should have brought my other Nintendo Switch in here to compare it by size, but I'll just put a picture out of the size comparison. And yeah, there it is, right there. There's the screen right there. Lo and behold, beautiful screen. By the way, y'all, don't make the mistake of taking supposedly some at like a layer of film on there. Don't take that off, Nintendo says, because that's important and that needs to be on there. So don't make that mistake, y'all. I've seen some people make that mistake, and I've seen the GameStop rumor that was surfacing out there, where GameStop stapled the receipts to the front of the box and it pierced through the box and like mess up people's screens. So I hope everybody could get that corrected. There's your Joy Cons, which, as you all know, you can use it like as a mouse now. I've seen that in the Metroid videos. So there, those there are the Joy Cons, blue and red here, all black, and then of course like the joystick is, you can see the blue interior of it, and then that one's red. So yeah, there you go with that. All right, and then there's some instructions here. All right, so yep, instructions right there, course of some sort. Always important to read those, but most of us don't, right? I'll toss this box to the side here. HDMI right there, and this looks like the straps for your Joy Cons. Yep, that's what that is there. And forgive me if I'm not getting all of this. Trying to work around the camera here. All right. And let's see what we got here. This is probably the adapter. Yep, that's the adapter, AC adapter. That's probably the plug that goes into the cord that goes into the AC adapter. All right. Let's see what else we're working with here. This is the controller to hold your Joy Cons. You put each side on each respective side there. It says Nintendo Switch there in the middle. All right. And last but not least, it looks like the dock. And that might be it. That just might do it, y'all, for the contents. Yep, that's the dock. All right, got some air vents look like right there at the bottom. Um, HDMI clearly goes in there because it says it right there. And you got some USB ports on the side there. Of course, the console goes in here in this groove right here. And I've seen where you can take this off. I'm kind of working with one hand. I don't want to mess nothing up, man. Yeah, we ain't gonna like. I'll put a picture out of that. All right. I don't want to mess nothing up here, but yeah, that door comes off obviously, and it moved a little bit, so it's clear that that comes off. So, all right, there's everything there, and let's get to the actual console itself. I don't know if they. I'm sure they come with juice already, so um, you could probably power it up off the rip here. We'll start with the screen here. All right. There it is. And I see I see the film on there. I don't know if y'all can or not. So yep, will not be peeling that off. And hit my camera again, my bad, y'all. So there's the logo, of course, Nintendo Switch. You got a kickstand right here, right? That works. You can set it up like that, like so. All right. Game card goes in there, cartridges. I'm a big physical cartridge guy, so I'll probably be definitely using that a lot. Looks like we got a USB port here that might be for charging. Headset jack right there. Volume rocker. Power button. All right, which will be powering up soon. And that's the charge. That's the charging port because it's at the bottom. That's, of course, you would put it in the dock like that, and that's how it would charge. All right. So next, of course, we need to take these out. The Joy Cons. We'll attach them. We'll look at how they attach because that's a big deal of how the magnetic attachment works. That snapped right in, by the way. Okay, so we'll check out how sturdy it is in a little bit. Up, got a little piece of paper there. Okay, all right. So this feels good in the hands. All right, it's definitely slim. It's a little bit slimmer than I expected. Um, so yeah, there's that. You can see my iPhone and my Afro in the back. Anyway, um, the joysticks, I like how they feel as well. Let's see here, buttons, yeah, buttons feel kind of like the Switch, original Switch, and you got the plus and minus buttons there. You have that C button, that's the camera button, I believe, and also that's how you connect to like game chat, which I am excited about that. I'm sure like the quality won't be great, but I'm excited about that. That's the home button right there. And I think this is the picture button, if I can recall. So yeah, there it is. Let's power it up, man. Let's go ahead and power it up, see if it has any juice. And it does. We'll see how much battery life it has. It's just a little bit here. Let me move this all out of the way. Get my pocket knife out of the way. Oh, there it is. Nintendo Switch 2, man. Oh man, I'm excited about this, man. I love Nintendo. Okay, and then it has your settings here, which I'll probably skip through this part and then I'll continue once I've set up the settings. So we'll do that. All right, y'all. I am back and I have updated my settings. And in the process of setting my settings up, I noticed that it also requires you to do a system or a software update for the console, for the Switch console itself. And they also asked me to do a data transfer from the old Switch to the new Switch. So it was much more to it than setting up the settings, but it was a smooth process and an easy process. Also, to my Switch one hadn't been updated, so I needed to update it first, and then it allowed me to start the data transferal. And as you can see, my Switch one games are now on my Switch two. Now, I do think it does ask you to download the app for some of this, so feel free to download the app. You're gonna need it anyway if you're gonna use the console to its full potential. But it was an easy, smooth process. Didn't have any issues transferring games from one console to another. There was no corruption, none of that. Easy process. So now, as I said, my games are now here on the Switch too. Some of my favorites here, man. Like literally, not just for Nintendo, but in gaming in general. Love the Bayonetta series. That's on the top of the list somewhere for me. As you all can see, I have all three Bayonettas. Love Zelda. You all saw my shirt earlier, and I'm a very big fighting game fan. As you can see by the Marvel versus Capcom Fighting Collection and the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Edition collection. I got a Street Fighter arcade machine and a Marvel versus Capcom machine off to the side here, which we'll actually do videos on those for the channel down the road. But that's another story for another time. But anybody that knows me do know how much I love fighting games, and that's probably my favorite genre in gaming. So, all of that said, before we get too sidetracked here, here's a size to size comparison. If you all were wondering, I'm sure you all have seen like pictures and diagrams by now. And then if you want to look at an over the top comparison between the Switch One and the Switch Two, as you can see, is a significant upgrade. And then the last thing I really wanted to touch on was here. I was able to get the back off of the dock. When I wasn't working with one hand, it was pretty easy to get off. And as you can see, the AC adapter goes on the top, HDMI in the middle, LAN connection on the bottom. And the USB ports, which I mentioned earlier, I did test out the USB ports for a web camera to see if that could be used with game chat. I wasn't able to fully get in the game chat app though because I don't have any friends with game chat. So it didn't let me get in there and test it out. But when I went into the console settings, which is that button right there, the gear, I did see my web camera show up in the settings when I plugged my web camera into the USB port. So that's a good sign that you can use a webcam instead of the one of the expensive Nintendo cams, the Piranha Plant one or the one that's even more expensive than that. You don't have to have those to use the game chat. At least it appears that way. We'll do a review on that later down the road as well. But that is pretty much it. I won't review the console itself yet, or Mario Kart yet, or any games on it yet. That'll be for a separate video. But I will say Mario Kart has been a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying it big time. But we'll do that in a separate video. Let me know in the comments how I did in my first video for Level 88 Gaming here, and feel free to rate, comment, subscribe, and share. And then aside from that, everybody just really take care of each other in the meantime until we come out with some more content. And I am signing out.